Welcome everyone. We're gonna keep on pushing today, finishing this part, the Cybergates. I'm gonna add the heat shrink. So I'm just gonna let some people come in here, and then I'm gonna change the color of the letters in our to-do list.
Ooh, you left us with a real cliffhanger.
Yes. So for everyone, what we're doing, this is what we're trying to build, and as you can see, we are much closer now than what we've been before. Here's the close-up, and here you can see it in the main camera. And the next step that we're gonna do right now, which will allow us to try a marble to run through this for the first thing ever, is step 3, the heat shrink. So if I can just get my... There, heat shrink went bright white in the to-do list. So let's get going. How are you, Hannes 2000? Welcome back to the stream.
Oh, thank you. I recharged my batteries. They're almost at full capacity now.
Yeah.
Some knäckebröd and some water. Like that's a lunch break for champions.
Awesome.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm exhausted after 7 hours welding this today, but I'm also excited to add this heat shrink. So I should probably start with cleaning my workbench up. That's a little anticlimactic start of the stream, but let's.
Or the most glorious start ever, to see a clean workbench.
Yeah, you have to help me hold the fort while I'm fixing this mess.
We get to see everything now, the nuts and bolts of your work days, even cleaning. And it's kind of traumatic for me not being able to cut any of this footage live. But this is why we're live streaming, right? People get to see everything.
No, yeah, maybe. I don't know if cleaning is the thing. I don't know if that's our poster child for the live streams.
Oh yeah, someone reminded me now in chat that the Nintendo Direct stream is starting right now, so we have some competitions here.
Are you going to leave me for the Nintendo stream, Hannes?
Yeah, see you. Take care.
So I'm just gonna create some bench space here so we can add our heat shrink in a clean working environment. And then we can roll the first marbles through the gate, actually, which is pretty cool.
We already have a new member to welcome, and that's Braden Kolstad. Welcome, Braden.
Thank you, Braden.
Thank you.
Okay.
And a new hashtag is trending today in the chat, and that is hashtag give Hannes hands again. So let's see if we will be able to restore my hands later. They're not top priority, I will admit.
I think they're absolute priority, because now, since we've done the first step, we can actually give Hannes hands again.
Oh.
So I put some metal in because it didn't work so good last time.
Yes, I feel alive again.
Oh, and the hand is also holding up the foot. Can you make some walking sound, Hannes?
How do you make walking sounds?
Kloppity, kloppity, klop.
Kloppity, kloppity, klop. Chicka, 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 chicka.
Okay. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for being here. Seeing the evolution of the Cybergate. It's happening.
Oh yes, and chat, you will have to drop, if there's major bombs during the Nintendo stream, you need to inform me here.
So we can have live coverage of the Nintendo stream. What are they talking about then on the Nintendo stream?
Nobody really knows, but Nintendo has an awful habit of making people disappointed in their press conferences and just announce news whenever. I mean, everybody's waiting for Breath of the Wild 2 or Metroid Prime 4. Or, as me, I'm waiting for a new Switch altogether, like a 4K version or something. But if we get one of those things tonight, it will be glorious.
Well, so we have a pretty good table, and here's the heat shrink. And the first thing I want to show you is, so this heat shrink plays a major role in this design. So I'm gonna go over to CAD very quickly, so don't click away. Here, this is the key to understanding the heat shrink. So if you see the round rings, they are marbles, and they are entering through this metal that I'm showing on the small screen. And these blue parts here, if I go back to the close-up, is these metal parts. So if we go back to Fusion, you can see that we have the marbles are riding on the heat shrink. So before the stream, I just double checked the distance from the heat shrink to the metal, and it's 0.75 millimeters. So I need to double check that the thickness of this heat shrink is 0.5 millimeter after I put it on. Then everything should be good. So let's check the thickness already now. And this is 0.4. So I have bigger heat shrink. So if someone has any questions or anything, you can just put them, and Hannes helps us reading them out.
Yes, just drop your questions here, folks.
So this heat shrink is...
Martin is a modern day Geppetto, and Hannes just wants to be a real boy. That's true, William Deary.
Ah, is it the Pinocchio?
Yes. And welcome to Klaus Wichmann, a new member. Welcome.
So the good thing with this heat shrink is that I can add it and I can remove it and kind of retry. So I think what I should do is that I should try one section, just one heat shrink, and then measure it and then see where we are.
And Niklas Eriksson has a nice comment for us. Slow TV at its best.
Ja.
Den stora älgvandringen, släng dig i väggen.
Yeah, so it's funny with this slowness, the quality of the slowness. Like when I want to watch stuff like Eric Rose and the chess streamer. Okay, he's of course a brilliant chess player, but it's so relaxing when it's slow actually. So we're happy that the slowness of this is appreciated, because that's everything we can offer here. Tedious slowness. That's like our main selling point.
And here's a good one to start with from Frozen Claw Studios. What does heat shrink do? How does it work? So explain for the audience what you're gonna do.
What the heat shrink do?
Yeah.
Yes. So the heat shrink is removing the metal sound from the marbles. That's why it's there. So if you hear this, that's marble on metal. Now I add a heat shrink, much less. So without, with. Okay, not when I go all the way through. With, without. With, without. That's what it does. And since I CAD'd this, I had to calculate very precisely the thickness of the heat shrink, and that's what I'm done here. So that's what I'm very excited to find out right now, if we've done our calculations correctly and how things seems to be working out.
I'm just, some people are saying the volume is a little tad low. They're maxing out their volumes at home. So just a fair warning for you people, if Martin raises the volume a little bit.
Check, check, check. Yeah, thank you. Great feedback. I'm gonna go a little hotter on the gain. Wait, we should do this. This. I skipped one attenuation step, so probably now we have to talk a little bit. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, check. Chat has to say. Sound is fine. So let's keep going.
Super nice. Thanks for the feedback. Keep on giving us audio feedback. That's very appreciated. He's going to try to get this out of here. Hannes 2000, do you have a plier?
Probably somewhere. Look in my pockets.
I borrowed a clamp from you.
Okay, we got a little more signal to noise problems now. People are experiencing more background noises.
With the air conditioner?
Now instead. More noise now.
I'm gonna deal with that soon. So you prefer the previous setting?
The mic drives the compressor harder now.
There is no compressor. There is a limiter though, but there is no compression actually. That's probably happens on YouTube's. Let me double check. What? I left
better sound before, just too quiet.
I had a compressor on by mistake, seems like, so well done for the one that heard that. Was that on the whole previous stream, Hannes? That's really relaxed then.
I know, but it talked about the audio in the last stream. So much better now.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go a little lighter.
Sound is super.
This is why you should actually listen to your sound and not only look at it. So
much better. There we go. People love it.
Okay, sorry. We're going really hot. I actually really left a compressor on by mistake the whole previous stream. I hope it wasn't awful.
10 out of 10.
Okay, good. This Sennheiser shotgun microphones is really nice to work with. They have an ultra cardioid pattern, which means that they take really, you can hear it. Now I'm right in front of the microphone, and if I start to walk away from the point, you can hear how my voice almost disappears. And then I'm coming back into the sweet spot. You can really hear the presence of this shotgun mic.
Nice.
Really, really nice. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now, because Hannes 2000 is here to relay your questions to me. We have all the axles out of the gate, and we're ready to start with the heat shrink. It's funny because I am a little bit confused. I had this idea that I was going to use silicone tube here, which I thought I was. So I don't really remember how I planned this. Because I never added it to CAD. So
Spay asks here, what do you think is the riskiest part of the assembly?
that was the last stream, the first welding. We just got through.
Step 2.
Yeah, step 2. What we did in the last stream was the riskiest part. Unless when we add all the gears in the end and we realize that we made some crucial design mistake. Have I added shrink here? So this is kind of annoying. I don't really remember my own design. And so here we have silicone tube, I know that. And there's heat shrink. It doesn't really matter, as I said, we can redo it. Probably heat shrink everywhere. Let's try. Where should we start, Hannes?
At the first step.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm gonna take you in real close. Because now we can...
Derry 10. Assembly Martin is always baffled by design Martin.
Yes, that's a very, very good observation, actually. They are not always happy with each other, also.
And a question for me here from Useless is the next progress vid after all Cybergate assembly streams. We touched upon this in earlier streams, and now we're focusing on doing the streams all the way up to this 60,000 marble test. And the test will be the next regular, like, edited video. So this, you will be able to follow along the whole process until that point.
I'm gonna manually focus in on this part. So here is going to be one of the nicest parts of this design, is that between this and this tab we're gonna have silicone tube, and then on the inside we're gonna have heat shrink. So I'm thinking of starting right here. This is designed to go over. Oh, that's nice. That's perfect. So let me find a scissor.
TDO Brandono is asking, is the tubing going to be trapped in the assembly, or is it going to be possible to replace it in the future?
It's going to be trapped up here. Oh, that's behind the... It is going to be trapped up here, which is probably the weakest point of this whole design. Because once it's trapped with welding here, there's no real easy way to replace it. So if it gets worn out, I have to do some... It's not really good. I think that's kind of a weak spot. Here it's not trapped because these points are free. Well, when this is welded, it's trapped there as well, actually. So, are we still sharp here? So let me cut a part that is a little bit shorter. I have a step there, so it has to stop there. So, I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter, better short than long. This is a special heat shrink that shrinks more than normal heat shrink. It shrinks 4 times, so it should be able to make a tight fit there. And what I'm looking for especially, it's for the marble here to not have a big step. So when the marble goes off the heat shrink and onto the metal, I don't want it to make a big step. Step 3.
Are you gonna clean out the welds? People are wondering.
No, I'll leave them like they are because I can't access in the middle anyway. So I leave this look like this. Right. Oh, I'm stupid. I stopped in time. I forgot a little bit how I planned this. I have to fold the heat shrink inside this tab there. And I should probably just shorten this. I did actually race super hard when I was designing this to be able to order these. So that's why I wasn't like... I knew that the heat shrink is kind of flexible, both literally and figuratively. So, are you still seeing this? Is it too dark? It's a little dark, right?
It's kind of fine to me. You can raise it a little bit, not too much. There we go.
Ah, maybe I was thinking adding... What was I thinking actually? I can add a small little section there maybe. Let's try again.
Emmanuel Barboni is wondering, wouldn't it be better to do the heating after you set all the tubes? You end up doing it only once.
Yeah, that's actually a really good suggestion because then also you don't reheat. But it's actually because I want to try to see how the marble rolls. It's actually going to be a problem that I do this now because then I'm gonna reheat the first one twice, which is not good. So good suggestions, but I just want to see if this... I'm not sure this is the right heat shrink. I have other thicknesses. I think this is the next level up. Okay, so let's halt there. Okay, so this becomes thicker than I thought. This is good news. I don't know if you see it in camera, but I think it's always cool heat shrink. So, are you seeing the caliper?
It's kind of hard for me to see. I have the sun in my eyes over here.
Ah. Sorry, I'm gonna close the door. So we were at 4. Wait, 6:35. That's kind of perfect, right? What is 0.75 times 2? Is it 150?
Ask me that again soon. What were you saying?
Oh, this looks great. Okay, so I'm gonna take the suggestion from, what was the name? And I'm gonna add 4 parts, 3 more parts, and do all 3 now. Maybe I should zoom out a little bit.
Emanuel Barboni. That's the one who suggested it.
I'm gonna move in a little bit to the sweet spot of the Sennheiser mic since I was talking about that so much. This is better. You think it will work, Hannes?
I know it will.
So the heat shrink is very forgiving, actually. In the way that I can cut it out if it goes wrong, and in the way that it doesn't have to fit first, and then you just apply the heat and then it fits perfect. It's very nice. And I don't know if it was obvious, but in the previous marble test, you can kind of not hear it, but the new gates are so much more silent than the previous ones. Like, I posted some videos on Discord when I was trying the hi-hat, and it hit me when I heard the marble machine in the telephone camera, in the cell phone camera, that you could almost never hear the hi-hat before because the marbles made so much noise. And now you could hear the hi-hat like loud in the cell phone camera, which is very revealing because then that's not a microphone close to the hi-hat. So like the touring version, I want to be completely designed for silence. Because the less noise you have, the better, the more sensitive microphones or you can use, or how should I? Okay, let's get a close-up of this action. My heat gun is actually broken. Sometimes it stays on the wrong gear, so now it's not really getting hot. That's why it takes more time. There it goes. You can hear the gear shift. And now you can see the plastic reacting immediately. Ow! Ah! I don't know if you perceived it, but when the motor goes like a little shift down in tone, I know that it has geared up to the real heat setting. So I made one mistake here. There's a little too much material there. But this is going to be enough for us to try the first marble. So now we want it to roll freely, but to not be able to escape on the sides. Hannes, this looks perfect.
Wow, there we go.
Well, on this is the easiest part.
Well, we need a victory early on.
Yeah. Why does it look so... It looks less dark in the camera. So listen.
Wow.
That's the sound difference.
Wow.
And you can also hear it if I go close to the mic. Ah! You can kind of hear it when it rolls on and off the...
Yeah.
You hear that it's silent the other place. Okay, so this is so fun to see in real life, having like stared my eyes out in CAD on this heat shrink and how much thickness it would add and stuff like that. Only one issue is that I left a little lip. That was when I burnt myself. It's probably good actually. Haha. Let's try on the base.
Yes. Woo!
Beautiful.
Music.
Okay, so we figured out. I can show this camera too. Let's go out of focus again. So here it rolls perfectly, but it cannot escape absolutely anywhere. It's perfectly locked in, and it has a nice like 1.5 millimeter distance. Maybe. I couldn't really measure it. Let's just check quickly. Intro sketch. So this is the thing. This is the law, this sketch for us today. So what I was curious was how much distance this marble has here to the heat shrink. It's 0.9 millimeters, under 1 millimeter. So I have a little bit more distance in real life, which I'm happy with. But now I want to try the top row because that's much more sensitive because we have only 3. If you see the top row, the marble's only being held by 3 lines, and this doesn't look right to me at all. That's why I think this is going to be a silicone tube, which is because this is not going to be enough with heat shrink. Let's try a silicone tube. What is chat saying, Hannes?
A lot of different things here. But I got a suggestion from Clipschnitzel that you can make a little heat shield from aluminium foil later when you're gonna, so you don't warm everything, I guess.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
And Steve Anderson and a lot of other people are saying that you should use one piece of tube as the template and cut them all at once later.
That's also a brilliant idea. So what's been worrying me when I've been looking at this, if I show you this straight into the camera like this, is that the marble has a lot of space here. So probably I've designed this for a silicone tube. Let's go get one. And if I didn't, we might be in a little bit of a problem here. Oh, look at that. How neatly that slides on. I just have to run down and get some graphite powder for lubrication. So you hold the fort. I'm gonna give you a close-up.
Yeah, and give me some updates on the Nintendo stream, people. I know what I'm missing out here. I'm sadly no expert on heat shrink, so I can't answer your questions about that. I heard there were some disappointing Smash Brothers character reveals, right? To the Metroid. Oh, well, that sounds interesting. Oh, here we go. Hannes 2000 is coming to Smash. That was the news I was waiting for. Finally.
Did you get...
Are you joking me now? They're saying Switch Pro here. I don't know if that is what I think it is.
That's what you wanted, right?
Well, perhaps. Still no news about Breath of the Wild 2, though. They said that Hannes 2000 is joining Smash Brothers. That's fine.
So I noticed a quite cool art by accident thing. When I use this graphite powder inside the silicone tubes, they turn metal. Check this out. So instead of plastic, it looks like some kind of metal from the graphite. I think that is pretty awesome. I'm gonna cut this a little bit to length. Because Switch Pro was what you were longing for, or did I understand?
I don't know if it's that. Perhaps. And some people are wondering why you leave some bare metal on the end of the rails.
Oh, good question. Ooh, this is a little... Okay, so now the marble is trapped. But it's... okay, this one is maybe... It's almost not trapped. This is the danger of using 3 lanes. Oh, but maybe it was... Oh, this thing was not centered. So if I center this... Oh yeah, now the marble is trapped. But I don't know up here. It feels like we need a much tighter tolerance for the marble up there. Yeah, so if we have heat shrink all the way down, it slows down the marble drop too much. I only want the heat shrink where the stopper is catching the marble for the sound.
I got a suggestion here from Null Persona on Discord. If Martin waits until after welding the end plate on to shrink them, he can push them away from the welding area while attaching the end plate.
That's exactly what I was hoping to do, actually. That's a very good idea. I don't know if I dare to do that though, because I really want to see how it works. But it's a really good idea. On the other hand, I realized on the other one they didn't get... I'm welding on the back side, so they might survive welding as well. Okay, so now we have this on. Okay, this looks pretty epic. Pretty epic, Hannes. Let's get a...
Nice.
Where do we have our dropper? Gonna get a dropper. So with this dropper foot, you have another piece of silicone pipe tube that goes against the metal.
Cool.
So everything is really held strictly.
I see some tips here from the chat about using some soapy water to get silicone tube on easily.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. It falls very slow on this. There you can see the marble. Okay, so this seems to work. I'm going to approve this for the front. Although the Oh, I can just put another layer of heat shrink, right?
Anthony Vitaco, soapy water could cause rust to form as it will dry slowly. 95% alcohol is better.
Then it's probably graphite powder is the easiest because I don't have 95% alcohol.
Oh, that would be a fun stream.
I was going to make like some kind of joke like that, and I was like, no, let's keep it family friendly. And Hannes 2000 went straight in for the kill.
I have no constraints.
No contractual obligations.
I'm free.
Okay, so I'm having a little bit of a... Oh, maybe the thing is a little bit bent outwards. If that's it, we're home and dry. I'm having a little bit of like not crisis, but 32. Yes, it's bent outwards. Okay, this thing, if you're seeing in this camera angle, is not completely parallel. It's a little bit up like this, which means it opens up towards the end. Which means I can, with good conscience, close the fit a little bit. Now it's parallel, and then I'm happy with the marble capture. Then the marble capture is spot on. So, it has to last for 10 million marbles, you know? It's not a joke. It's actually true. Okay, should we finish this downside then? Work little, yes, we're gonna do that. So now I can take, if you have any questions in the chat or Hannes for me, it's a really good time. By the way, if someone was here in the previous stream, I talked about the vegetable couple next door, so we buy all our vegetables from. Just wanted to show their like award-winning onions. These are onions. Look how big they are. Because we talked about them in the previous stream. One onion is like one Cybergate. Cool, huh?
Here's a question from William Finchbow. Is there any issues with the heat shrink or silicone tubing causing higher friction?
Yes, that's the answer that I maybe not gave why I don't want the heat shrink all the way down, because then the marbles are not sliding down the metal but rolling down the metal because they're gripping to the heat shrink, and that makes them fall super slow compared to like fall free sliding down the metal. Because when the marble is still and needs to fall and needs to spin up, that's the same break as over rotation. It slows the fall down a lot. So now let's add everything here on the back side.
Tyler Hoyt, angular momentum is the term you're looking for.
That sounds so cool. Angular momentum. So, okay, here's a question for chat. What's the difference between angular momentum and moment of inertia? Is it the same or is it different?
Tom Cuthbert Sayers is wondering, what are the other Wintergatan band members doing whilst you are working on the MMX?
Evelina is making art. You can check her Instagram out. She's like illustrating super beautiful illustrations. And David is writing music, like songs for some. He's having like writing music for like the Idol winner in Sweden and stuff like that. And Marcus is working as a sound engineer, I think. I don't have a like super fresh update. Like I said, this Marble Machine X has isolated me from everything else. So I'm not like super up to date with everyone, but I'm going to Sweden this summer, so I'm going to. I hope I can meet them all there in meet space.
In meet space, and I'll post Evelina's Instagram account here in the chat so you can check it out.
Yes, please do that, because her art is absolutely amazing.
It's gorgeous.
And she just also like when we started the band, she wasn't doing that. It was just something she found. Maybe she was doing it in private. I don't really know. I don't think so. Like she just started illustrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. And we have 6.
Okay, so we have a couple of people writing in about the inertia and momentum. So from TMK, moment of inertia is like a mass for rotations. Angular momentum is like speed.
Moment of inertia is a mass for rotation. Angular momentum is like speed.
So here we have from Cheran, angular moment is related to rotation. Inertia is for any moving objects.
Ow. Can you repeat the last one?
Angular moment is related to rotation. Inertia is for any moving objects.
It's like I don't have enough like pre-knowledge about physics terms to really like maybe understand, or maybe I'm making it more complicated than it is. Like, can you dumb it down even more? So question, for example, inside a flywheel, we have moment of inertia, but are we also having angular momentum?
Let's see what chat comes up with here.
Thanks for being my physics teachers.
Anonymous Vibe Master. Moment of inertia is resistance to change in angular momentum. So much easier to understand now.
A moment of inertia is resistance to change in angular momentum.
They're two, both of them are connected somehow. Angular momentum is a form of moment of inertia, kind of like how a square is the form of a rectangle. Love that one, yeah, Patrick Dimmock.
That's great. That's a great example. So that's why I'm confused. It's like when someone says like, yeah, okay, that's why I'm confused, because it's the
Waterloober. When the flywheel is not moving, it has no angular momentum. The faster it spins, the more angular momentum it has. Its moment of inertia does not change. Angular momentum equals speed. Moment of inertia.
So the moment... So the moment of inertia is constant even when standing still. When the wheel is still.
Everybody's screaming about this now.
Are they fighting now?
Everybody's typing their own version of it.
That's why I'm confused. So, like, how fun would it be to actually study Newtonian physics now? Like, because I never learned like real stuff. I never learned math with Newtonian physics. I was always like, oh, the ball is falling. That's cool.
Are you ready? Rosero chimed in on Discord.
Okay.
Moment of inertia is how hard something is to start turning. The sluggishness of an object, if you will. The angular momentum is more about the speed and energy an object has while rotating. So a bicycle wheel can have the same angular momentum as a flywheel, but it has to spin a lot harder. The moment of inertia is much higher for a flywheel than a bicycle wheel and is fixed for any object. Simple as that.
That sounds great.
Moment of inertia confirmed.
No, I think if I wrote it down, I would get it. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heat shrinks. And, oh yeah, I need to keep a keen eye on the transition here. So I need to have a tool to manipulate that I don't burn myself with.
Jimmy Callin. Martin's brain is having a moment of inertia.
Oh, it's so satisfying when they just hug the metal. Ah, that looks great. I failed with one here. Let me manipulate that. That one is a little loose. Can you read what Rosero wrote again on us?
Of course I can. Moment of inertia is how hard something is to start turning.
So
sluggy. What?
Yeah, so that's why in a flywheel you call it moment of inertia, because it's hard to both start it turning, but it's also hard to stop it turning. That's the sluggishness. That's why it keeps on going.
The sluggishness of an object, if you will.
Okay, the sluggishness. Okay, cool.
And the angular momentum is more about the speed and energy an object has while rotating.
So, but then on a bike wheel, does it have an other angular moment on the outer rim than towards the center? Because Rosero writes an object. I think that's where it goes wrong in my head. Like, is the outside of the spoke of the wheel of the bike gear, does that have an other angular momentum than the inside of this, than closer to the center of the hub of the wheel? Are they measured differently?
Let's see what they have to say. I can't keep up with the chat. People are screaming yes, at least. Martin's right.
Oh, they have different angular because of leverage.
Probably, yes, people think.
So, like, best part of the Model S plaid unveil event was, of course, physics is the law, everything else is recommendations. I know there was a lot of engineers in this chat hearing that quote. I thought it was beautiful. Physics is the law, everything else is recommendations. And like, actually understanding physics is actually necessary to get this world tour actually starting, because of this machine is so dependent on all like Newtonian physics. So it's actually, it would be so fun to actually learn some, maybe not super useful, I don't know, but learn some standard physics. Because there's a lot of physics that you can understand without knowing math on this very basic level, I think. Okay, so I'm adding this heat shrink for the front here. Is the debate still ravaging?
Yeah, I need to turn my eyes away from it for a bit. I'm going cross-eyed here.
Well, I'm gonna give you an angle to turn your eye. It's hard to film this though. Here, maybe. You're more into Nintendonian physics, right?
I understand those at least. And the chat has been teasing me. I guess the whole Switch Pro was a lie.
Oh no.
But now a lot of people are saying Breath of the Wild 2 has been announced. I don't know.
See if you can hear my heat gun changing gear. Listen carefully now. There, after the little shake. Trying to heat shield the ones on the back. This is starting to feel more and more real now, Hannes, when we're on this step.
And people are seeing live how my brain just stopped working. With all these physics here.
I had a great physics teacher when I was like a kid. I looked forward to physics the most. It was like this could make like physics exciting, you know? I think it's like this subject that a teacher can turn into gold or ash. I don't know.
I have a Swedish explanation here. Perhaps that's good.
Okay, yes.
Från Daniel Eliasson.
Ja, gärna. Tack.
Objekt beter sig annorlunda vid rotation gentemot translation. Inom parentes vridning / förflyttning. För translation används massa, vikt. För rotation är det tröghetsmomentet som skadar mängden rörelse per kraft.
Translation. Swedish physics is actually, I think it turned it harder for me, but I think the explanation was great.
And welcome to Martin Kulmer, new member. Welcome, Martin.
Welcome, Martin, and thank you so much for being here and supporting. Thanks to everyone for following the streams and seeing me fight alongside my partner in crime, Hannes 2000. For the glory of the Cybergates. We're on step 3 after in the 3rd stream. So what I'm doing now is that I'm adding 3 more silicone tubes for the front side. And then I'm gonna check the marble fit. And then I'm done with half of this project. And then I'm gonna keep on up here, which is kind of more complicated.
Jonathan Sandström, järnspikar, vad konstigt att höra er prata svenska.
Järnspikar.
Järnspikar. Det var inte igår.
Jag sa järnspikar mycket tror jag när jag var liten faktiskt. Det var poppis. Järnspikar.
Cute Swedish non-swear word, swear word.
Pushing this silicone tube on here, it slides on pretty well actually. So yeah, this metal has been designed for this silicone tube. It's designed one, it's not, there's no accident here. Okay, and this channel is more trapped. In fact, ooh, it's absolutely perfect. The marble is just brushing with a little bit of a headroom. Okay, so this is less good. The marble is sticking here. But maybe that's because it's close to the weld. No? No, still. So what's happening in chat, Hans?
There's still some moment of inertia talk here. And also some confusion about which step you're on right now. Is this step 3 or is this step 4 since you're using silicone tubes right now?
Oh, it's actually a combination.
It's halfway.
Yeah, so yeah, let's go over to step 4 when I add these back silicone tube that are sitting in these slots.
Yes.
Could you say that the debate about moment inertia has a lot of moment inertia?
Oh, tremendous amount.
Hannes?
Yes?
I run into an issue.
Okay, what do you need me to do?
It's a little too tight here, so I think I'm actually going to use a heat shrink here on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't need to do anything. You just have to listen to me complain about it.
Well, I'm used to that, so
Yes,
no change there. Hey-o.
Oh, do you want to hear the most beautiful poem about friendship ever?
Of course I want to.
Wait. Oh, I know I'm procrastinating.
I can read it for you if you just tell me what it is.
Oh, can you find it online? David White, White. See if you can find it online. Friendship, I think it's called.
Friendship.
Maybe it's on his website.
Oh, it's a long one.
Did you find it?
Yes. Let's see if I can find a good one. Several paragraphs long, though. We have time.
Yeah. Wait. The reading of yesterday was so popular.
Here we go. It's time for storytelling with Hannes once again. Hannes 2000. Friendship by David White. Friendship is a mirror to presence and a testament to forgiveness. Friendship not only helps us see ourselves through another's eyes, but can be sustained over the years only with someone who has repeatedly forgiven us for our trespasses, as we must find it in ourselves to forgive them in turn. A friend knows our difficulties and shadows and remains in sight, a companion to our vulnerabilities more than our triumphs. When we are under the strange illusion, we do not need them. An undercurrent of real friendship is a blessing exactly because its elemental form is rediscovered again and again through understanding and mercy. All friendships of any length are based on a continued mutual forgiveness. Without tolerance and mercy, all friendships die. In the course of the years, a close friendship will always reveal the shadow in the others as much as ourselves. To remain friends, we must know the other and their difficulties and even their sins and encourage the best in them. Not through critique, but through addressing the better part of them. The leading creative edge of their incarnation, thus subtly discouraging what makes them smaller, less generous, less of themselves. Through the eyes of a real friendship, an individual is larger than their everyday actions, and through the eyes of another, we receive greater sense of our own personhood, one we can aspire, the one in whom they have most faith. Friendship is a moving frontier of understanding, not only of the self and the other, but also of a possible, as yet unlived future. Friendship is the great hidden transmuter of all friendship. No, I start over. Friendship is the great hidden transmuter of all relationship. It can transform a troubled marriage, make honorable a professional rivalry, make sense of heartbreak and unrequited love, and become a newly discovered ground for mature parent-child relationship. The dynamic of friendship is almost always underestimated as a constant force in human life. A diminishing circle of friends is the first terrible diagnostic of a life in deep trouble, of overwork, of too much emphasis on a professional identity, of forgetting who we will be there, when our armored personalities run into the inevitable natural disasters and vulnerabilities found in even the most average existence. Through the eyes of a friend, we especially learn to remain at least a little interesting to others. When we flatten our personalities and lose our curiosity in life, of the world, or of another, friendship loses spirit and animation. Boredom is the second great killer of friendship. Through the natural surprises of our relationship, held through the passage of years, we recognize the greater surprising circles of which we are part and the faithfulness that leads to a wider sense of revelation independent of human relationship. To learn to be friends with earth and sky, with the horizon and with the seasons, even with the disappearances of winter, and in that faithfulness, take the difficult path of becoming a good friend to our own going. Only 2 paragraphs left. Friendship transcends disappearance. An enduring friendship goes on after death. The exchange only transmuted by absence. The relationship advancing and maturing in a silent internal conversation way even after one half of the bond has passed on. But no matter the medicinal virtues of being a true friend, of sustaining a long, close relationship with another, the ultimate touchstone of friendship is not improvement, neither of the other nor the self. Ultimate touchstone is witness. The privilege of having been seen by someone and the equal privilege of being granted the sight of the essence of another. To have walked with them and to have believed in them, and sometimes just to have accompanied them for however brief a span on a journey impossible to accomplish alone. The end.
Yes.
Now I understood why he wanted me to read that one.
How brilliant is it? And you reading it.
Gets right to the heart.
Yeah, it's spot on. It's spot on. It's a nice one, right?
While I was reading, the chat is screaming here. This is not a drill. Check your silicone tube, Martin. Check the size of the tube. The tube size check. 2,000 help.
I actually, to not disturb the poetry reading, I went ahead to step 4, actually.
Check if this is the right size of silicone tubes.
Yeah, so now we're on the back side. This is one of my proudest designs in this design. I really want to show you this sharpness. So this is the design of the foot. Oh, it's so difficult to show you. So it has these 2 ears, and these 2 ears lands perfectly on this silicone tube here. And the silicone tube is mechanically held, so no glue, nothing between these 2 tabs. It's just put in place like this, and it's held by itself. And the reason I love this design so much is that where these marble droppers are hitting in, the tube is hollow. So it really muffles the sound. So listen. Oh, sorry. I can't do it. Without tube. With tube. No, but I love that. I heard that poem in the Waking Up app. David White has a track there with that one in, and I thought it was really quite something. It's quite, you know, it's quite. I love how he like writes straight. It's straightforward. It's not like happiness is like, and then a metaphor. It's like he just tells it how it is. I think that's so cool. So I'm going to go back to the front side because I didn't want to start a heat gun while you were reading. Friendship is like because I guess people were meaning on the front side, right?
I guess so.
Oh, this looks so good. I wish you could see this. This looks so cool. Silicone tubes on the backside. So let's go back to the front side here. Two of the, I'm going to use heat shrink instead of silicone tube for 2 parts, because that was too tight with the silicone tube for the marble, which is actually kind of a good thing. Heat gun not finding its speed. There! You can whack it. How do you feel about your new poetry reading career, Hannes 2000?
Let the audience be the judge of that, I think. They were having a heart attack while I was reading, and I didn't see the comments about all the heat shrink.
So what was the comments about the heat shrink then?
You have to check it,
look.
the size of it.
This is perfect. This is perfect. Ooh. So I'm like almost on the sub-millimeter. Yeah, this kind of 3. So this is a design that I will not repeat on the Marble Machine X touring version. All these marble tracks with only 3 metal wire holding the marble at 3 points. It just increases the demand for accuracy a lot. I get this to work, and it's the same on the clock escapement gates. It's 3, but it's much tighter. Using 4 bars around the marble just gives you so you can sleep well at night. Okay, so I'm completely done with the whole part down here. No, I'm gonna finish these silicone tubes on the back side. So these silicone tubes are just muffling the sound of the marble dropper themselves. So these tubes are not touching the marbles. They are just touching the dropper arms. So you have like heat shrink here and silicone tubing here. That's a good visual actually. Underneath is heat shrink touching the marble. On top is silicone tube touching the dropper arm. So, like, one design law for this assembly has been no metal on metal anywhere. So I'm on the next to last, penultimate I think it's called, no? Isn't that a beautiful word? I'm on the penultimate silicone tube. You know, like you have first, and then you have secondary. No, primary, secondary. Do you know the word for the third position? Like primary, secondary, and then what do you say for the third one?
Oh, I don't know.
Tertiary. That sounds wrong, right?
Yes.
Primary, secondary, tertiary. I looked it up the other day for some reason.
Oh, the chat is also filling it in here. Tertiary.
I mean, how often is that used? Like, if people would understand it, it would probably be used more often. So I'm adding the last tube on the backside. Yeah, it's brilliant, intelligent, tedious gang in the chat.
Speaking of brilliant, here's a joke right up my alley from Fraud Cube. What if you want to play metal on the MMX? Will you remove the tubes? 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, actually. So I'm trying to film this. I'm having little issues. You see how this dropper, the side of the dropper is touching the silicone tube? So that's all good, that looks great. Now we're completely done with the lower half. I'm gonna race to begin on the upper half. Okay, but this is gonna be heat. This is heat shrink. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
This I think is something I learned from Rosero, how to bend heat shrinks in. So I think it was Rosero taught me. So how to bend heat shrink in a corner like this. Why can't I film without getting bubbles? Ooh, this is going to be... I should probably start from this end. I get nerves for the silence now.
People are having a good time, don't worry.
Okay.
There's not many questions now though.
That's great news. Oh, this is a good angle. So
But I hate to be a party pooper though. I need to leave pretty soon.
Oh yeah. I am I'm having a CAD meeting in 20 minutes with the Marmshin X CAD team, so the stream will have to end then anyway. I'm going to keep on with these things. Oh, that's true. We're gonna miss you, Hannes 2000.
Hope you can survive without any poetry reading here.
It will be seriously hard, but we'll do our best. We'll do our best. I'm gonna push on with this heat shrink and see how far I can get before the CAD meeting. We have 20 minutes left.
I need to bike home and then recharge the batteries for tomorrow.
Yeah, you've been awesome, Hannes. That's such a pleasure having you. So I think I'm gonna leave the studio. No, you have to close your computer.
Yes. We're aiming for live stream tomorrow also, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Of course, this is the new normal.
Well, for this Cybergate project, I want to share how this comes together.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone and thank you all for this day. It's been lovely.
Goodbye, Hannes 2000. 2000. I'm gonna leave your arms for the night.
Oh, thank you.
See you tomorrow. Talk
See you
later.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
So I'm gonna show you a trick. Oh, the screen went dark. It's so sad. So I'm gonna show you this trick now for how to make a nice heat shrink in the corner. So see if we can zoom in on that. Now you can see that it's all bubbles and stuff there. So the trick is, I'm gonna get a plier. Let me move the microphone over here. Crisp presence in the shotgun. The trick is to make the heat shrink a little hot and then pull it. Make the heat shrink longer. Maybe it was Lund who gave me the tip, or Rosero. I don't. That was Rosero. Now I'm pulling. Ah, yes. That turned out super clean actually. So let me take a close-up of that. You hardly see the heat shrink. It's here. So the inner radius now is super clean. I missed a little there. That's okay. It's after the gate. Here's the Pacman gate. And I want the heat shrink over the gate, but here is just a loose marble and I'm fine with it there. And then I have then I have this excess and I need a knife to cut it off. I'm gonna actually try to use the scissor. Perfect. Okay, so I want to get one channel completely ready in this stream. I'm gonna add a similar piece of heat shrink on the inside here. Now I have to read chat a little bit. Audio is much better today. I think I've left from Erika Mays. That's good to hear. I think I left a compressor on that I was experimenting with that I wanted to take out, but it was kind of saved, or maybe it was saved in another scene, so it went back on without my knowledge. Yeah, the Mark Hamby, the middle ones will be difficult, yes. Definitely. We're gonna try one right now. Okay, so I need shorter. So I'm just gonna double check with the marble. Oh, this looks great. So there's the Pacman gate, and then when it comes here, yeah, it's fine. It's all fine. So now we need to do the second tier. So what I tried with this one was to kind of get it stuck at the end by shrinking it only at the end first. And then pulling it. But that kind of didn't work. Maybe if I used my Wise. I hope the compressor wasn't on in the whole stream yesterday. That's super rookie mistake. Because it was like a super hard compressor that we tried to compress the angle grinder. Maybe I left it on by mistake. That's kind of really stupid. This assembly is so crazy. Look at this. Okay, so now I have an extra hand. Okay, here it goes. No, not yet. There. Okay, we got it. Okay, we got it. See if I can show you this. I'm not going to be able to film. It's like inside the gate. You can take my word for it. The inner radius is clean. Let's try with a marble. Perfect. So now we have to make this. How have I planned on doing this, actually? Max Schwartz, I could see the inner radius shrink from this angle. Okay, brilliant. I'm happy for that. It's there. So now the last thing we have to do is here. And I'm starting to wonder if I made a mistake. Maybe I had to pre-charge this part before welding with that part of the heat shrink. I think I missed something there actually, because this part we can do, but the other part we can't. Then we're gonna remove heat shrink here around the mechanics later. So I don't know if you see in the stream. Yeah, you see. Here we can enter, kind of, with some willpower. But the next one is going to be really, really difficult. I'm gonna try to push this over, make this first. So silent when Hannes 2000 is gone. So the idea is to put the shrink on all of it and then cut with a knife the parts we don't want around this mechanical thing here. And then for the next channel, I have no clue how to save that. Maybe just omit. Probably there's just not gonna be any heat shrink there, and that's gonna be probably very okay. Let's get a real close-up of this one, because we can. So if I fail with this inner corner, that doesn't really matter because the marbles are on the other side. I'm gonna try to make it pretty, but it doesn't matter. There. It's very forgiving heat shrink. I love to work with it. Let's try a marble. Actually looks perfect. Okay. 1 minute for my CAD meeting. I thought we could do this before the CAD meeting, but I didn't finish really to succeed it. But we've taken yet another great step towards the completion of this. We've started actually, oh yeah, we're gonna celebrate by going, if you look in this corner of the screen, we are actually at step 4. So let me hold down my Alt key and drag this second text layer. We are at step 4. So I think this is going to... I've discovered some mistakes already in the assembly. I should have preloaded some heat shrink parts, especially on these parts with this little extra step. I can't get heat shrink into everywhere. I don't think at all it's going to be an issue. I think I can... this is only a sound thing. It won't affect the marble, so I will find a workaround for that. And we're good on our way. Every Tuesday at this time, we have a meeting with the Marble Machine X CAD team from Discord. So shout out to everyone in the Marble Machine X CAD team. Probably some of you are watching now. It's an amazing group of fantastic people fighting to build a CAD model of this machine. And we're using that work to create the brand new MMXT, which is going to be the Marble Machine X on the world tour. So this group of people is really enabling the more professional machine, the foundation for that one, to be built in CAD completely. So that's my only weekly meeting I have. That's like my only thing on my schedule, and I'm already 1 minute late for the CAD team. So just say huge thanks to everyone on the stream. It's been awesome to have your company today, and I don't know if you felt it too, but when Hannes 2000 is gone, it's just not the same, right? So see you tomorrow for more marble tests. And if you want to tune in when the marbles are really rolling through this thing, come at step 7, the bench tests. So to sum up, this is what we're trying to do. This is where we are. We're getting closer. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Have a wonderful day and see you on the next one. There. Bye.